Hello students, in the yesterday's class we have seen introduction of electrochemistry, definitions of electrochemistry by knowing the two reactions involved in electrochemistry. What was the two reactions? The two reactions was oxidation and reduction. Coming to oxidation, it was nothing but loss of electrons, and reduction is gain of electrons. The definitions has to be in terms of electrons only. In electrochemistry, everything is related to electrons. No protons comes into picture, no hydrogens, nothing else. Only it is the play of electrons only in the entire electrochemistry. If you give electrons, what happens? If you take electron, what happens? Is present in electrochemistry, right? And electrons are given or lost mostly by metals, right? Therefore, you will take the examples of metals only. And in the yesterday's class, we have seen the electrochemical cell and its diagram, right? This is a general representation of electrochemical cell. You can make electrochemical cell by taking any combinations of metal, but for our understanding I have taken zinc and copper. You can make electrochemical cell by using any combinations of the metal, but for our understanding I have taken zinc and copper as the combination. You can take zinc and nickel, you can take copper and nickel, you can take silver and zinc, or any combinations of metals can be taken, right? So this is the general setup of electrochemical cell. What we have seen in the last class was electrochemical cell has two parts. One part is called as one half cell and the other part is called as another half cell. The half cell which is present to the left side of the setup has anode electrode and it undergoes oxidation reactions, and the half shell which is present on the right side of the setup is having cathode electrode and it undergoes reduction reactions. The definition of oxidation was loss of electron and the definition of reduction was gain of electrons. So, anode always undergoes oxidation reactions and it will always be present on the left side of the setup. Cathode always undergoes reduction reactions and it will always be present on the right side of the setup. Coming to the charges carried by anode and cathode, as anode loses electrons, a point will come where anode will be filled with so many electrons, zinc atom, zinc atom, zinc atom, so many zinc atoms are present on the surface of the electrode. All the zinc atom lost their electrons and got converted into Zn plus 2, right? Oxidation reaction means loss of electrons, we told, right? What is that reaction? How can you write the reaction? Zinc atom is present and it loses electron. After losing electron, what will it become? It becomes zinc ion, right? So, the moment zinc gets converted into zinc ion, it comes back into the solution. Zinc atom is in the form of solid, zinc ion is in the form of liquid. So, once zinc get converted into zinc ion, it cannot remain here. Where will it go? It comes into the solution and the electron remains here only. One zinc atom falls down, second zinc atom falls down, third zinc atom falls down, all in the serial order it continues. Electrons will be here only. So, rich in electrons, charge of the electron is negative, therefore anode carries negative charge. Coming to reduction reaction. Reduction is nothing but gain of electrons. Who can gain the electron? Can copper gain the electron to become copper minus? No. Metal can be either neutral or positive charge, it cannot be negative charge. Therefore, the possibility of gaining the electron is not for copper but for copper plus 2 ion. So, from the solution, copper plus 2 ion gains the electron which was coming from this side, right? So, copper plus 2 ion from the solution gains the electron which was coming from this side. How many electrons are coming by each atom? 2 electrons. So, each copper atom also takes 2 electron. Each copper ion also takes 2 electron and this positively charged copper ion after taking the 2 electrons becomes copper atom, right. So it is accepting the electrons coming from the other side, as it is deficient in electrons. To accept or to attract the negative charge, what should be the charge on the cathode? Opposite of negative, which is positive. Therefore, anode carries negative charge always and cathode carries positive charge always. So now let us give the name for this half cell separately and this half cell separately. In the left hand side of the cell, oxidation reaction is carrying out, therefore this half cell is called as oxidation half cell. In the electrochemical cell, the left hand side compartment in which oxidation reaction is taking place is called as oxidation half cell, and the right hand side compartment in which reduction reaction is taking place is called as reduction half cell. Don't forget, oxidation means loss of electrons, reduction reaction means gain of electrons. So now we have seen the complete electrochemical cell and how it works, right. Once you give the battery, once you start this experiment, and whether you start this experiment or not, it can also start spontaneously, right. Zinc starts undergoing the reaction of oxidation, loses 2 electron, becomes Zn plus 2. That Zn plus 2 falls back into the solution and that electron goes to that other side, right. Coming to this side, what will they do? The electrons coming from the opposite side will be accepted by copper plus 2, converts into copper atom, starts depositing here, right. Zinc is falling back into the solution, so it starts depleting in its size, and copper accommodating on its walls. One is depleting in size because it is coming into the solution, the other is depositing and enlarging in size because it is depositing. A point will come where zinc can no longer oxidize and copper can no longer reduce, and that point is called as equilibrium constant. And at equilibrium constant, the cell stops functioning. So if the cell reaches an equilibrium constant, that means cell can no longer work. If you want that cell to work after equilibrium constant, you have to supply electrical energy by yourself. Till now the cell was working by itself spontaneously, but after this point of equilibrium constant, the cell can no longer work. If you want the cell to work even after equilibrium constant, what you have to do is, you have to give electrical energy so that the cell can start working again and the reaction becomes opposite to that of the previous one. What is the reaction? Oxidation at this side, reduction at the other side. After equilibrium constant, if you give electrical energy, at anode reduction takes place unlike the previous time, and at cathode oxidation takes place unlike the previous time, right. So now this is how electrochemical cell works, and when I told that any combinations of metals can be taken as electrodes, and the other name of electrochemical cell is called as galvanic cell, right. Electrochemical cell or galvanic cell or voltaic cell are the names of only one cell in which any combinations of metals can be taken. But if the combinations are like zinc and copper, that electrochemical cell in which anode is zinc only, nothing else, and cathode is copper only, nothing else. You cannot make copper as anode, you cannot make zinc as cathode. The electrochemical cell in which anode is zinc and cathode is copper only is called as Daniell cell. So, to give the demonstration of Daniell cell, what I have done is, in the beginning itself, for electrochemical cell itself, I have taken zinc and copper as the combination. This is general electrochemical cell and this is only Daniell cell, right? This is only Daniell cell. In the Daniell cell, metals should be zinc and copper only, but in the electrochemical cell, in the galvanic cell or in the voltaic cell, you can take any combinations of the metal apart from zinc and copper, right? Please copy this diagram and the reactions. So, now we have seen how electrochemical cell works. For any electrochemical cell in the exam, how you have to write is, after drawing the diagram, you have to write its construction, how it is constructed, how you have constructed the electrochemical cell. You have taken two compartments, how they are placed, how both of them works, that comes under construction. And the next heading should be how it works, working. The next heading should be working. In the working, you have to explain what anode does and what cathode does. Working, after explaining how it works, you have to write the reactions of the working separately in the form of one heading called as cell reactions. For any cell, if the cell is zinc and copper, reaction should be for zinc and copper. If the cell is zinc and nickel, the reaction should be for zinc and nickel. For any cell, after working, the next heading should be cell reactions. So, now let us see what will be the cell reactions for this electrochemical cell. Here I have separately written the reactions, but what you have to do is, under the heading of cell reactions, this is the way you have to write. So, now you tell me at anode what will be the cell reaction. At anode, you already know that oxidation takes place. So, the reaction is for zinc undergoing oxidation to become zinc plus 2 ion by losing 2 electrons, right? At cathode, what will be the reaction? You already know that at cathode reduction takes place and reduction will be for copper plus 2 ion by gaining 2 electrons. By gaining 2 electrons, what will copper plus 2 ion become? It becomes copper atom, right? This is reaction at anode and this is reaction at cathode. By combining both, what you have to do is, you have to write the overall or the final cell reaction. To write the final cell reaction, you have to cancel out the electrons and the leftover should be written like this. Zinc plus copper plus 2 give rise to Zn plus 2 and copper. This is the final or the overall cell reaction, right? And in the exams, it is not always possible to draw the big entire diagram and explain its working. So, what is the shortcut for writing any cell or any electrochemical cell is just by writing the cell representation, which is the short form of the entire cell. Without going for the diagram also, you can explain how the cell is constructed simply by writing the short form, and that short form is called as cell representation. So, for this cell, the representation comes in a single line. You don't need to draw the diagram. If you simply write one line, that means this is anode, this is cathode, this is salvage, everything is well understood, right? Now, let us write the cell representation. Now, let us see where anode comes. It comes at the extreme left side. Who is anode here? Zinc. Where cathode is? Cathode is present at the extreme right side, right? Now, zinc is anode. What will it become after the reaction? It becomes Zn plus 2. Zinc is the electrode separated by electrolyte. right? Zinc is the electrode separated by electrolyte, therefore you have to draw one single line between zinc and Zn+2 ion, right, because it is in the form of electrode and this is in the form of a electrolyte, therefore in between both of them you have to write single line. They are in the same cell, they are in the same beaker, therefore one line. Coming to the other cell, right, copper +2 and copper is also separated by a single line. So, where should I write copper +2? If I write copper +2 here, then copper, is this the correct arrangement, or the correct arrangement is copper and then copper +2 just like this? Which one is correct? To understand that, let us look at the reactions, right? Anode means oxidation, oxidation is from this to this, right? From this to this is correct. So, right, for oxidation, if this is the correct arrow, for reduction what is the correct arrow? Is this the reduction or is this the reduction? Reduction means gain of electron, copper +2 into copper is correct arrow, or copper plus or ulta arrow is opposite arrow is the correct arrow. The opposite is wrong. Opposite is first reactant should come and then product should come. This is the reactant and this is the product. Therefore, for cathode this should be the correct, which is copper +2 is reduced to copper. Therefore, in the cell representation, at the extreme left side zinc should come, at the extreme right side copper should come. In between both the electrolytes are there. Electrode and electrolyte is separated by a single beaker. Electrode and electrolyte is separated by a single beaker, therefore single line is there. How are these two beakers separated? They are separated by a salt bridge. Therefore, between this part and this part there is a salt bridge which is separated by double line, right? Therefore, this is the short form of any electrochemical cell called as a cell representation. By looking at the cell representation, you can easily say this is anode, this is the electrolyte, this is cathode and this is the electrolyte. What is this double line? Is nothing but salt bridge. Sometimes they can ask you to write cell reactions by looking at the cell representation, or they can also ask you to write cell representation by looking at the cell reaction. If cell reaction is given, you should be able to write cell representation. If cell representation is given, you should be able to write cell reactions. Anything is easy. Okay. So, now please write all the reactions and cell representation also. So, till now we have seen electrochemical cell, right? Using that electrochemical cell, you have to apply Nernst equation and calculate electrode potentials of any metal in combination. Whatever combination is given, you should be able to calculate electrode potential of one metal in both the combination. So, right. So, let us now understand what is electrode potential before going for Nernst equation. If you do not know what is electrode potential, you cannot apply Nernst equation. Electrode potential meaning is already there in its name. Potential means capacity, right? And electrode means this rod. Rod can be of any metal. You are telling electrode potential. Electrode means one solid rod is there. Its capacity to do what? Its capacity to do this. Let us see. See, whenever any metal rod is dipped into any metal rod, I am telling, any metal can be any solid, right? Whenever a metal rod is dipped into a solution of its own ion, metal rod can be silver, metal rod can be copper, metal rod can be zinc. Let me take silver as an example here, right? If silver rod is dipped into a solution of its own ion, what is the solution of its own ion? Silver nitrate, Ag plus NO3 minus. If copper is the rod, what is the solution of its own ion? Copper sulfate. If zinc is the rod, what is the solution of its own ion? Zinc sulfate. If nickel is the rod, what is the solution of its ion? Nickel chloride or nickel sulfate. Any solution having its own ion is mandatory, right? So, when metal, I am not taking combination, I am simply taking only one metal in only one solution. The other part is not there, right? So, one metal is dipped into its solution. When that happens, there are two possibilities. Whenever metal is in the solution, always there will be two possibilities. One possibility or one chance is from the metal rod, one of the metal atom, so many atoms will be there in the rod, right? Out of that, one of the atom can undergo oxidation. What is the reaction for oxidation? Or for instance, I will take only metal. Metal can be represented as M. One possibility is this: metal from the rod can undergo oxidation to become metal ion by losing electrons, right? This is one possibility. Other possibility or other chances is also there. What is the other chance? Ion from the solution will undergo reduction and becomes metal atom and goes and deposits here. Deposit here. That is the other possibility. What is that? From the solution, whatever metal ion is there can gain the electron and get converted into the metal atom and starts depositing at the boundary. And that possibility is this: metal ion from the solution gaining electron to become metal atom, right? Whatever metal you take, always it has two possibilities of oxidation as well as reduction, right? So, this capacity of the metal, whenever it comes in contact, say if I dip the metal rod in the solution, will the total duster be in contact with the solution? No. Only that part of the duster which is at the boundary. This surface, back surface and this surface. Whichever part of the duster is in contact with the water, that atoms only have these possibilities. Deep inside silver atoms or any metal are not in contact with the solution, therefore possibilities are not present for the deep inside atoms. It is only for the surface of the metal atoms, right? So, that possibility is only for the surface atoms because this surface atoms is coming in contact at this point, right? So, between the metal and the solution there is a barrier of potential difference which develops. A barrier or a layer of potential will be developed where? Not everywhere, only at this point. Not everywhere, only at this point, and that potential difference which is generated only at the boundary is called as electrode potential of any metal. That potential which is generated at the boundary of the metal, at the boundary only, not inside, not at the top, not at the back, not anywhere, only at that point where it is in contact with the solution, a potential or a barrier or a layer will form, and that potential is called as electrode potential. It is represented as E of the metal. E should be capital and the subscript metal should be written. And the next term is standard electrode potential, and it is represented as E0 of the metal. Till now I have taken an example of the total duster when immersed in the solution. The surface comes in contact, therefore all the atoms which are present at the surface comes under this value. But if I am taking the potential of only one zinc atom, only one zinc atom, only one zinc atom, what is the potential of only one zinc atom present here, or only one zinc atom present here? What is the capacity of only one zinc atom or only one metal atom? means electrode potential at unit concentration or molar concentration. At 1 molar concentration at 1 atmospheric pressure and at 298 Kelvin temperature. At 298 Kelvin temperature, at 1 atmospheric pressure and at 1 molar concentration, what is the capacity or the potential of only one atom is called as standard electrode potential. For the entire atoms, it is called as electrode potential. For only one atom, it is called as standard electrode potential. Electrode potential is represented as E and standard electrode potential is represented as E0. After knowing electrode potential and standard electrode potential, you have to know cell potential and standard cell potential, and by applying both we will see Nernst equation, but in the following class. Okay. For now, you copy these equations and be clear with the reactions. Thank you.